What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Underdog Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Nolan Skane, alongside Antonio Fiore, Salestrina. Gentlemen, this is always one of my favorite episodes that we do.
The rewind.
The rewind to the beginning of the 2023-2024 NFL season, where we go over our predictions and how faded that we were.
Yes.
We were right about some things, but then when we're wrong about things, I feel like it's really bad.
A lot of swing and misses. A lot of big swing and misses. Going for the homers.
But there were a couple that we got right on the nose, and we'll go over all of them. I don't know if we did. Did we do this last time where I said rate the NFL season 1 to 10?
I think so.
Yeah, we did do those.
I think, what did we say, like a 6?
Yeah, nothing good.
Yeah, it was a crazy year in the fact that it was all of the other shit other than football.
It was, nonsense.
It was tomfoolery.
Very weird NFL season.
It was tomfoolery, and I did not like it.
Well,
where should we start?
AFC?
Okay. Any particular?
AFC East.
The AFC
the
East.
homeland.
I'm actually kind of glad that we're starting with this one because not the brightest moment for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Get the bad stuff out of the way.
So let's start with the win totals. Buffalo was 10.5.
I had over.
You had under.
I had
Me and
over.
Antonio had over. I don't remember what we said. I think Antonio brought up the Sean McDermott thing that
I thought he might have been declining.
yeah, which I don't think is that far off.
Oh no, I completely agree with that. At this point, he needs to get fired.
But I don't know why you
Frank
took the under.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you took the under. If I'm trying to recall, but I don't remember.
I don't have a good reason. I probably was just like, I'm not feeling that. And
Yeah.
what they have, 11 or 12?
Belichick to the
They
Bills.
had 11, right? They had 11.
So
I was one game, and Miami tried to beat them at home, and they just sucked. So
Well, you should have
one thing
known.
I should have done.
I should have
was
known. Just fought to
Bill to the
11-6.
Bill to the Bills?
Yeah.
Could happen.
Didn't they win like 7 games in a row down the stretch?
Yeah,
Who,
they did.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean
Yeah.
McDermott was like 9-11.
And then they were like, oh yeah.
Yeah, the thing about him saying 9/11 came out. Yeah. Yeah. Miami was 9.5.
I had the over.
They went over.
I had the hover.
I had the under because I'm an idiot.
I
feel
mean,
like my
they just had
reasons
a
were
lot of
valid.
talent. Like they were just gonna be like a 10-win team.
My reason was good though. Like, do you
Tua's a hospital.
Tua's a hospital.
Yeah.
Did you really have a lot of faith going into him in the beginning of the year, like before the year started?
I thought they could get like 12 or 13 games out of him. Maybe not the whole season, but I thought he would play 75% of the
Yeah,
games.
I expected him to play more games this year than last year.
Yeah.
But I didn't rule out.
Whatever.
And the backup was
Mike
Mike White. So
Michael
White.
But they never had to
Use him because
use him.
Tua actually stayed healthy.
Yeah. Surprising. But they did win 11 games. Obviously did not get the result they wanted against the Chiefs, but whatever.
Blew the division.
Well, that game still has an asterisk for me.
They
Because,
blew the division. I think that was their
Yeah.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
That they blew the division.
But the freaking minus 20-degree game in Kansas
I
City
mean-
was just absurd.
Yeah. It's like you could say that, but then it's like, okay, all you had to do is beat Buffalo, though.
Right.
Oh yeah, then it's a completely. But then they play Buffalo in the first round of the playoffs. So like, do they beat Buffalo? And
I mean, at home, I think that they
Like,
had a good
I
shot.
don't know. If it was not minus 20 and it was like 10 degrees, like, do you still think the Dolphins beat the Chiefs?
No,
Yes.
I don't know if there was any
I don't
scenario where
think
they were
so.
beating the Chiefs, to be honest.
Yeah. Sal liked the Dolphins for a matchup.
I like the
Chiefs.
Dolphins against the Chiefs.
I liked the Chiefs against the Dolphins.
Yes, I was saying, I think you said it in
Especially
like
at
week
home.
12. You were like,
I was on that.
If the Miami
Yeah.
goes to Kansas City, I'm taking Miami.
I still think it's a different game if it's a regular weather game, even if it's like a little colder. But like the coldest weather game in NFL history, they didn't have a chance.
Yeah, that was tough.
But what are you gonna do?
Well-
I can't control Mother Nature, unfortunately.
Still an 11-win season, so
Go apply for HARP.
What's HARP? Oh,
the HVAC.
Yeah.
HVAC? No.
No.
HARP is
HAARP. That's like the weather controlling thing they do in Alaska.
Is that like the lesbian?
Was I supposed to hold on? Was I supposed to know that? Like,
I don't
was
know.
I supposed to know what that is?
I thought you guys knew about that stuff.
I thought you were talking about the HVAC company. HARP. All right, let's move on. The New England Patriots, probably the biggest swing and a miss.
Me and Nolan were like, over.
Listen, we all ended up taking the over.
Oh, Sal
But
did
it was,
too?
yeah, but
Good.
because their win
stupid as
total was
well.
6.5.
That's so bad.
Going
I'm
into
wearing a
the year
Patriots
though,
sweatshirt.
you just got to remember that we had zero knowledge of what was going on.
You know what's funny? We're going to pick the over for them next year, too.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they get
Drake man. That's what you're
Jaden Daniels.
Oh. A little skinny.
I'll take him.
You like him?
I think he might be the best.
Well, I was just
Yeah.
going to say,
Jordan
rank
Love's
the
kinda
3
skinny.
quarterbacks.
I don't know if I trust Bo Nix.
That's not the 3.
It's Caleb Williams.
All right, number 1, Bo. Number 2, Nix. I don't know. Caleb was.
I really
You
hope
don't like Caleb Williams.
he's the only one that I don't want them to pick, and I know they're gonna pick him.
Drake May, I don't know.
Caleb Williams is not
Dude,
falling a 3.
like,
Yeah, but
I
I don't know. I
Drake
just
May also. I don't like that.
I don't mind Drake May.
I like Caleb Williams the best.
No, dude, it's not good.
It's just my opinion.
I think Daniels is way better.
Me too.
I think he's a way better option.
It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this pick because it's like you need a quarterback desperately, but at the same time,
who was?
I hope they take
Who are they
Caleb
trying
Williams.
to? There was like a rumor that came out that they might trade the pick to.
the Raiders?
The Giants.
I can't remember if it was like the Falcons or like the Bears or the. I forget who it was, but they were like you could get 6 first-round picks for it, and I was like, what?
What the fuck?
But like, if Daniels or Drake May is that good, it's not worth it.
No,
So
definitely. But if Bill was the coach and the GM still,
the trade would have already been made.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I think they have to make a splash. You get the new coach, he's got to form an identity, and you do it by getting your next quarterback.
Giants have the 6th pick. I'd like Daniels, but I don't know if they're gonna go in the quarterback direction.
I mean, I don't think that they will. They just paid Daniel Jones the bag.
Unfortunately.
So they're not gonna.
A lot of money.
I think they're kind of locked in.
Yeah,
there.
but that won't. It's not that restricting.
The draft is gonna be interesting.
It's not restricting because you're drafting a rookie, but
All right, listen. I'm gonna ask the question.
it's a waste.
Don't punch me. Is there a possibility
No.
of keeping Mac Jones and drafting Marvin Harrison?
Well, Mac Jones is a really good quarterback, so I
I'm
think they should be.
only doing that if we can trade down a little bit and then take him. If we can trade down to
Okay.
6 and take him, then yeah.
But do you take that risk?
I would.
Probably not.
Probably
To
not.
get Harrison?
right?
Probably not. Well,
I'm doing that.
if
Mac
you really
Jones is nasty.
if you really think he's that good, you take him at 3. But I don't think he's the 3rd best player in the draft.
I mean, that happens all the time, though.
Oh.
Where it's not always the 3rd best guy that, it's not always like the 6th best guy goes exactly 6. Sometimes, wasn't that when Daniel Jones got drafted? The Giants were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I
And
know.
they
I
took him,
get what you're saying. I don't know. The Patriots can do a gazillion things, and nothing would surprise me. They could come out and say, we're trading our 3rd overall pick for 4 second-round picks, 5 6th-round picks, and 10 7th-round picks. That's what they could say.
That would definitely be the Bill approach. And, whiff on all of those picks.
No, but then have one really good pick, and he's like, yeah, but look at him, though. And then you're like,
Well, really good, meaning, he starts and actually plays.
yeah.
Look at him.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I just wanted to put the question out there. I obviously want them to go with Jaden Daniels. Jalen or Jaden?
Jaden.
Jaden Daniels. I couldn't remember. All right, let's get to the other one. The Jets. Kind of a wash.
Doesn't count.
He jinxed them.
Yeah.
This was the podcast that I said that.
Yeah, you were like, what if he gets hurt week 1? That'd be the most Jets thing ever. And then it actually happens.
And it was the most Jets thing ever.
Their win total was 9.5.
Did they come close?
They won
5?
7 games.
Oh, yeah. Kind of close.
I said under.
You said over. Sal said over.
Oh, yeah,
I said
always
under.
was saying over. I was never not saying
I
over.
said over?
Mm-hmm.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You love Aaron Rodgers, you fucking...
You said under?
I said under, yeah.
I don't
Obviously,
believe
I'm
this.
going to say under. It's not... I did, and I also did call them getting 7 wins, but it's a wash because Aaron Rodgers wasn't there. I'd rather them get 7 wins with Aaron Rodgers than me be right.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just like, it doesn't matter.
You get like partial credit?
I would argue I get no credit because...
Wow, not even partial.
No, because it was a totally emotional pick.
Yeah, you were like,
and
fuck him.
like their quarterback goes down day 1, so like that's just whatever.
The clips of him running out with the flag are so good.
Dude, I love that meme is still... it's still got here. Like, I still see it sometimes.
Ugh.
All right. Where to next? Pick the
North?
division. On to the North. AFC North. The we should have went over what we had for
order,
yeah. Let's see. For the AFC East, where the fuck did I put it? I had Buffalo, New England, Jets, Miami. Let's skip that. I don't want to talk about it. I was the only one that said Buffalo was winning the division, though. Sal said the Jets, Miami, Buffalo, New England, which I would argue might be worse.
Yeah, that's worse.
And then Antonio said Miami, Buffalo, Jets, New England.
Wow.
So you weren't that far off.
We all bowed down.
You almost had it
I'm
perfect.
an idiot.
All right.
I'm an idiot.
On to the North. The Baltimore Ravens, their win total was 10.5. Smashed it, obviously.
I said no, right?
Me and you
both
said under.
No. Yeah, I remember that.
And Sal said over. Sal actually called this game. Like, you called them being one of the better teams.
I thought that just going into the season, it was Lamar is healthy. Lamar is on the same page as the organization. Odell came in, like, not like Odell is going to, like, really have a role, but it's like, okay, now Odell is there. Like, they're going to be, like, one of those teams where it's like, making, like, fun plays, like, that kind of thing, but, like, also being good, too. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got that vibe from them before the season that they were going to be good. And they lost Dobbins week 1, and then they lost Andrews week 7, and they still, or week 8 or something, and they still were one of the
Losing
better
Mark
teams.
Andrews was tough.
Yeah.
I think you did I don't remember exactly what you said, but I think you did say along the lines of Lamar Jackson MVP. So good shout there. But I mean, me and Antonio are faded. I think I more or less was saying like how hurt they've been.
Yeah,
and I still had a bad taste in my mouth.
I was always
how their
talking
season
about
ended.
how they blow games.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, their defense.
Pause.
Well, I also was like, if they're 7-1 or 8-1 to start the season, would you be that surprised? And you both were like, yeah, like that can't happen. And
I think I
were
just
like
I still just had a bad taste in my mouth after the whole season ended the year before.
I think that's why I was so high
Yeah,
on
that's
them,
true.
because like Vegas was putting them in that tier, and everyone else was like, I don't think they're that good.
I mean, I don't know. 10.5 wins is a lot.
That's what I'm
especially
saying.
for-
Is like. For them to be 10.5, you have to think of them as one of the best teams in the NFL, and a lot of people going into the season did not think that they were going to be anywhere close to that. So,
good call there, Sal.
Thank you.
Cleveland's win total was 9.5. You both took the over.
Is he a hockey announcer? Good call there, Sal.
Shut the fuck up. Cleveland 9.5 wins.
Our baby.
You guys took the over, obviously.
Yeah.
Although so when I went back and listened, you started out by like getting mad at him for always drinking the Kool-Aid.
And then I drank
And then
the
at the
Kool-Aid.
end, you were like, yeah, I want the over. Antonio did say, too, that I don't remember
He
if
said
you
that they
called.
were going to win the division, I thought.
Yeah, you had them almost winning the division and being like almost an 11-win team. Or you
And
said
they
something
did
else.
win the division.
They did. Over the Ravens.
Yep.
Who were the first seed.
So yeah, I mean,
true.
nothing really to talk about there. The interesting one was the Pittsburgh one.
Ugh, they do this every year.
They were over 8.5. You guys both had under. I originally had.
You had under?
He did.
I just thought I had picked probably too many overs already.
Wow, that
He
shocks
did.
me.
Yeah, he did say that.
Because I think I was picking like the Broncos to go over and all that shit, and like down south everybody to go over. I don't know.
I mean, you just want to be able to say like, oh, I had the under the year that they finally were under 500. Like that's
Yeah,
that's
I
like
think
the
you
whole
did say
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
I
like,
just
your
thought
whole
that
thing.
their division was too good for them to be able to.
Well,
And
they
then-
did have
yeah,
a good division.
I-
They won.
I know, but the Bengals
they-
got hurt.
They won 3 out of their last 4 games to go over 500. So
They made the playoffs.
yeah.
Yeah, they did. which is crazy. Remember when they lost to the Patriots, everyone wanted Mike Tomlin fired.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, weren't they still
If they won that game,
what was
they
the record? It was
11-6.
still they still had like 6 wins or something at that point.
Oh yeah,
they were like still like
no,
right
they
at
were
5.
like 7-3.
They lost They lost a
something
couple
like
games
that.
to some really bad teams, and the Pets were one of them. So this team could have potentially
Yeah, it
been
was
a
like there's still 2
12-5
games over
team.
500 in like a tight division. I was like, why do people want him fired so bad? I originally said over, and then Sal, I think, went on some monologue about how bad they were going to be, and I was like, being so dumb, I was just like, you talked me into it. I'm going to switch.
I mean, their quarterback is Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky or whoever. Like, that's just so disgusting.
That's not good.
No. It's not good. It's not great.
How do the Steelers win games?
No idea.
Because
man.
Mike Tomlin's a really good coach, but I do start seeing like the trend of like, okay, you are such a good coach, you have all these good defenses, but like he almost has the Bill Belichick thing where it's like he just can't put an offense
Yeah,
together.
but the years that they had like one of the best offenses ever, when they had Bell,
bad
Brown,
defenses.
and Ben all those years, their defenses were shit.
Yeah, so I mean, he just can't get both of them right, I guess.
Who's Martavis Bryant for like 2 years?
Who's their tight end?
Jesse James.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was done.
All right. Then we'll get to the one that's kind of a wash. Cincinnati was 10
The
and a half.
Burrows.
You were the only one that said under.
What a weird thing.
But I mean, going into the year, like I think people really had high hopes for them, and I think if Joe Burrow does stay healthy, like they probably make the playoffs instead of Cincinnati.
Probably
I
not
think
win the
that's a fair
division.
thing.
But
No, they
might
probably
make
don't win the
playoffs.
division, but I do think that because they got off to a really bad start, but I think like they would have definitely made the playoffs if Joe Burrow stayed healthy, which was a weird injury too. Like he threw a touchdown and was like, ow, my elbow.
Yeah,
And then they're like, oh yeah, he's had this for like a week and a half. And we're like, what?
Yeah, why did no one say this?
Yeah, they're like, no one said anything.
Yeah.
So they were just kind of had a disappointing circumstance.
What was the order?
The orders were, let's see. I had Cincinnati, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Sal had Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
Damn it.
And Antonio had Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. You had Baltimore in last place.
That's crazy.
That's that was your oopsie on this side of the league. Where do we go next?
us.
The AFC West. The Denver Broncos, our favorite team.
I wonder what Antonio picked.
Their win total was 8.5. They went under. Antonio said over. And me and
Did
you
they
said
win 7 or 8 games?
They won 7, I believe. They won 8 games. They won 8 games.
I was a half game off.
Yeah. I mean, we all actually, you know what's funny too? When I listen back, we were all right about them winning 8 games. Like we all had them in that range. So I'm claps for us.
Mm-hmm.
Round of applause. The one I want to get to though is the Las Vegas Raiders because their over under was 6.5. Now, the team that they started with and the team that they ended with wasn't really like the same. They had like a revolving door all year. They started out with McDaniels. We said too like he might be the first coach to go, and we were saying like he's definitely gonna get fired this year. We definitely said that. And then they go and they win 8 games and almost make the playoffs like somehow.
I thought they were going to be really bad.
But they
Like,
were
awful.
And we all said under, by the
They
way,
were.
under 6.5, which I think was justified heading into the year.
I mean,
They kind of were.
they were shit. And
They
then
were
Antonio-
dog shit. Like
and then
they were the
Antonio-
worst 8-win team ever.
And then Antonio Pierce took over, and then they were like a pretty decently good team, I guess.
yeah, I mean Max Crosby's an animal.
Yeah.
So I mean when they have him too, like
And like, I don't like Aiden O'Connell, but he played good.
he did.
Like,
He didn't play terrible.
yeah, no.
Like,
they
he
beat
wasn't-
the Chiefs.
They did
right?
beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean
What team dropped like 40 on them and a half?
Oh no.
Or did
no, they scored
they
62
scored.
points against.
Yeah, they scored against the Chargers. Yeah.
the Chargers.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was Brandon Staley got fired finally. Thank God, dude. Yeah, I mean they had everyone was talking about how shit their offense was, and then they went out and scored 62 against the Chargers.
Well, their defense scored like 42.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. That is very true. Yeah, they were probably I don't know, maybe the most surprised team. Like to be an 8-win. Like if you told me they were going to be 8-9, I probably would have been like, you're faded. But I mean, they pulled it together.
Houston, I would say, is more surprising, probably. Or no?
Not really, because we'll get there. But
Right.
Kansas City was 11.5. They go under by a half. So that's kind of whatever.
We all had over.
We all had over.
Yeah.
We all did say how good they were going to be. So really no surprise there. Really no surprise with the other team too. The Chargers 9.5. They go under. Obviously, they went way under. So like they kind of switched spots with the Raiders there, but did
we sniff it out?
5-win team.
Yeah.
No, I think we all did say under.
Oh,
but,
wow.
I think I was just sick of them, and I was like, I don't really care what they
I think
do.
the only thing I said was like they may win 7 games. I think you guys were more teetering on the fact like they might win 8 or 9 games.
But Brandon Staley is just like
It was 9.5.
We did say that. We were like, Brandon Staley sucks.
Yeah.
It was 9.5. That was tragic. And then for the orders, let's see, the AFC West. So I said Kansas City, Chargers, Denver, Vegas. So I said Kansas City, Chargers, Denver, Vegas, same thing. And then Antonio had Kansas City, Denver, Chargers, Vegas. So
Almost.
me and Sal had 2 out of 4. You had 1 out of 4.
The Broncos finished in second place.
You had the Broncos finishing in second place.
Yeah, and the Chiefs. So I got 2.
No, the Raiders finished in second place.
Oh.
Yeah. They had the same record, but
Tiebreaker.
Well, so it's a tie goes to runners. Switcheroo.
I mean, what did they have? What was the record against each other?
Well,
Didn't
it's not important.
It kind of is.
Not for
They beat them in the
this
first
team.
game of the year. Yeah, they beat them twice. You faded.
Nope, that's AI.
Nope, not real.
It's AI.
Fake news. All right. What's the last one?
AFC South.
The AFC South. This was an interesting division, to say the least.
So what? We just said under for every team but the Jaguars, besides Nolan.
Probably.
I think Sal said over on the Colts.
So we'll start with Houston. Houston's win total was 6.5.
We said over, right?
We both said under. Sal said over, and Sal like pretty much called it. Like Sal was like, "This is my sleeper team. I could see them making the playoffs." That was like what he said.
I thought I
So
said.
claps for Sal.
I've done that 2 years in a row in that division because Antonio was on that beat the year before, but Jacksonville was like our team
What'd
where we
you
were
think?
like, oh, like this team might actually, after firing, what's his face, Urban Meyer the year before.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, like get a new coach in there, see what Trevor Lawrence is actually made of, and then this year it was like, oh, we got Demetric Ryans in there, we got a new quarterback, like it might be a new look.
So yeah, there definitely
new
was a
feel.
lot of question marks going in, which.
But they did have a high. I feel like they had a high ceiling. That was the thing.
Yeah, you were right on with them. Indianapolis was also 6.5. They did end up going over. They won 9 games too, which was surprising because like I don't think
They're always like
obviously this line.
they're always like an team, like an 8-9, like.
And I thought when they lost Anthony Richardson, like when they had Anthony Richardson, I was like, this team might be good. But they lose him. Gardner
Do you
Minshew
like
comes
him?
in.
I think he's pretty good.
I
I
think
think they could be pretty good next year.
If he stays healthy, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
But-
I think if he has a full go at it, I think he's gonna end up putting up some good numbers, which is bad news for Houston if they're gonna be decent. It's not good for them.
Is that a good division?
Kind of.
It kind of is, right? And like you don't think of it
It's
as
a
that.
competitive division.
Yeah.
like the teams always stay at the same sort of.
You know what I
level.
love about
They
that
do.
division? There's a lot of ass kickings when they play each other. Like sometimes teams get rammed.
And that's
in
what
those
you get in
games.
good divisions for some reason.
Yeah.
like you get that. Like the teams beat up on each other and then have good games.
Titans
everywhere
finally
else.
just sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all high on the Titans.
How
Sal did say
can
they're
you-
under, but there's over under was 7.5.
I took the under.
You took the under. You
That's
said at this total, I have to take the under.
Shocked
And
I
I
took
think
the
it was
over.
more like you said. I have too many overs.
Yeah.
But
I just-
still, you did say that.
How do you fire Vrabel?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's stupid. And he still
That was
doesn't
a
have a
dumb.
team.
That was a dumb move.
He doesn't have a team.
No. I think he really was putting his chips on the table for that Patriots job.
Is he gonna be the Seahawks coach?
Like, no, dude, they hired you. Ask this every podcast. They hired some guy. They hired
Who did they hire?
I don't know. They hired someone.
Johnny Carmichael.
Johnny Carmichael. Yeah, and now they're probably gonna get rid of Derrick Henry.
He's gonna go to Miami.
Whoa.
Yeah, he says Miami's his top choice, which would be
Old McDonald. They hired
Wow.
Mike McDonald.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Terrible.
And then the Jacksonville Jaguars 9.5. They go under by half. We all had the over.
Ugh.
But obviously they had a shit. They had a shit.
They should have won their division.
They should have.
Oh, and then they lost like 182 games in a row.
They were 7-2 and ended 9-8.
Yeah.
Like
it's not good.
Sputtered is an understatement towards the end of the year.
Choked.
They choked. They literally turned. They had a tale of two seasons. They were a top team in the AFC for the first half, and then the second half they were the worst team in the
Trevor
AFC.
Lawrence or Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott.
Fuck Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott's
You
more
didn't answer the
consistent.
question.
Oh, I'll take Trevor Lawrence.
That's crazy. Dak Prescott's way more
It's not
consistent.
crazy.
Like I get like he's a cowboy, but
Yeah, but
Trevor Lawrence or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
Trevor Lawrence or Kyler Murray?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence or hold on, let me think. I want one more.
Drew Lock.
Yeah. I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers.
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
Okay. So
If you took Trevor Lawrence there, that'd be faded.
I felt like he could have. I knew you
He
weren't.
thought about it.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud or
CJ
Deshaun Watson.
And what?
Did you say Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
CJ Stroud. In what?
Trevor Lawrence or Deshaun Watson.
Trevor Lawrence.
Deshaun Watson.
Are you serious?
No.
I feel like that's a tough one. Trevor Lawrence or Geno Smith.
Does Deshaun Watson like play next year, or do they just like say
I
like
don't know.
go
He
find?
might have to.
Dude, how do you do?
Dude, they paid him.
He might show up to
They paid him $250
He'll
million.
show up to a team facility and be like, "Oh, sorry, your code card isn't working," and he'll be like, "Oh, can we fix that?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, come back tomorrow."
Can you just really picture this for a
He
second?
owns the facility. He's paid $250 million.
Can you just listen to this?
What?
Imagine thinking like your career's over because like all of this shit happened to you and whatever, and then a team's like, you know what, sir? We're gonna give you $240 million, no questions asked, and
All guaranteed.
and you just have to show up.
Yeah, and that's literally what he did.
What?
That's what he did.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Bro, he got outplayed by Joe Flacco.
But at this point, what does he care?
that's what I'm saying. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
He
like,
doesn't.
I wouldn't care
Yeah,
either.
He doesn't.
If I was at the if I had gone through all of this trial and tribulation to get to a point where I'm like, damn, my career's over, and then like you said, someone goes, here's $240 billion or $1 million. You have to come play for us. I'd be like, sure, but I don't really care. And they're like, we don't care either.
yeah.
Like, just come play for us.
This is literally just a 9 to 5 for him. Like,
yeah, dude. He's like a what even is he? He's a guidance counselor. Like, bro, he's literally a janitor. They paid $240 million for a
Yo,
janitor.
Sean, you gonna put on the pads in practice today? Oh no, I didn't bring it.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, okay, go to any rapist in the jail and be like, hey, you want $240 million?
But you have to play for the Cleveland
You
Browns.
get the same outcome.
Yeah.
You get the same outcome.
They're like, I can't go to any other team. They're like, no. They're like,
Joe
all right,
Flacco
I'll stay in
almost
jail.
took him to the playoffs. Now he has no excuse.
No, he did take him to the playoffs.
He did take him to the playoffs. My mistake. But now he has no excuse. He's got to come in next year and make the playoffs and win the division probably. That's literally like their next step. And he's not going to do it because he doesn't care.
Yeah, no. He just doesn't.
So yeah, back to Jacksonville. They suck. Order. The AFC South. Or AFC. Wait, where is it? I had Jacksonville, Tennessee, Indy, Houston. Good job, me. Sal had Jacksonville, Houston, Tennessee, Colts. And Antonio had Jacksonville, Tennessee, Houston, Indy.
I almost took Houston and win the division, and then I was like, nah, I'm stupid if I do that.
All right. On in the NFC. Which NFC division would you like to start with?
This is Antonio's conference, so he can vote.
East.
The East?
Let's go East.
Okay.
Commanders. I thought you said West.
Let's get it out of the way.
Commanders 6.5.
Me picking the Giants.
They went under.
Does that count as the SpongeBob reference?
What?
I thought you said West.
Yes, of course. What do you mean? Commanders go 4-13. They go under. I was the only one that had the under. Antonio and Sal had the over. I don't remember your guys' reasoning for that. Oh, you know what?
I mean, they were good last year.
The new owners, right?
Yeah,
and they were like an 8-win team the year before.
No, I remember when you were here, we were waiting for Sal, and the quote was, "I'm gonna trust Ron Rivera." That was the quote you said.
Oh, that's not good. He's normally a decent coach, though.
I
not
would
for
agree.
a long time, I don't think.
Like if you
really,
yeah, I think
that's true.
I think he's washed.
Like probably since like the Super Bowl, no?
Yeah. Well, they made the playoffs, like a year after that, but
Since then, maybe.
no,
So-
the year after they made the playoffs, they won 11-5.
Yeah, I'm saying since that
played a game
season, then
against
he's
the
been kind of
Saints.
just dog shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they got bad before he left Carolina.
Yeah, no, they were pretty bad when he was there.
And do we just chalk up their success on offense to Eric Bieniemy?
yeah, kind of
Right? Like
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
remember,
Sam
like, the
Howell
beginning
got
of the year, they were
stats, but he's not good.
Well, he
Dude,
was
they were
leading the
averaging
NF
like 30 points
he was,
a game.
yeah, he was leading the NFL in passing yards up until like
week 8 or something like that.
no, like week 14, bro.
Wow.
It was
He was
late.
late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was-
but he's not good.
and now he's gone, and then they got Dan Quinn coming in, a defensive guy.
That's gonna be weird.
Like
He
Eric,
might be
weird
good
team.
there, but he also could be really bad there.
Eric Bieniemy went to UCLA.
I don't know what's good with him because everyone was like, he's the next like hot head coach, and then nobody wanted to hire him. So I don't really understand what happened.
But then he goes to whatever.
I don't know.
The New York Giants, for whatever reason, we do a lot of meth when it comes to the Giants
NFC East
in the preseason. We all said over. It was 7.5. We all said over. Antonio was the most faded, but understandably so because it's his team.
They won
We're
5
allowed-
games.
They won 6 games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They did get a little better at the end of the season.
But if you go back and listen,
Yeah, no.
you were saying that they long shot could win the division. Like you were like literally like they're gonna win this division.
Yeah, I mean, off of last year, they added Darren Waller, and he ended up being a stick. So
Yeah, and understandably so. Like we each get a free pass when it comes to our own teams, like being faded for our own teams. So we get a free pass. But we all did say the over, so we were all incorrect.
dumb idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what we are. We can't hide from that. Dallas 10.5. They went over. They won the division. They won 12 games. I was the only one that said over. I think I was reluctant to take the over.
I really thought I liked them before the season.
No,
I didn't?
you liked the Eagles.
I thought I liked both of them though, but I guess not.
I don't remember. I obviously remember you took the under, but I don't remember if you were like struggling with it because you thought they were going to win 9 or 10.
Damn.
But that probably was around it. Which like the Cowboys,
Cowboy.
they cowboyed obviously at the end, but like they were fucking good, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm saying in the sense of like thinking about a preseason. You're just like,
yeah.
oh, like
And
they're the Cowboys.
then they ended up doing exactly the same thing. They just happened to have more than 10.5 wins and win the division.
Yeah.
They just did the same thing. But because
They did it a little more convincingly.
Yeah, because you can't have a repeat winner. Like you have, like they were just like,
NFC,
it's our turn.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what we do. And then we cowboyed anyway. But like they were so fucking good. I literally was like in many points throughout the year, I was like, they could win the Super Bowl.
Oh, I thought so too. And
but get fucked.
they got
They
got rammed in that game. Like that was an ass kicking to the 10th degree.
so
Like
awesome.
going into it, we're like, there's no way they could fuck this up.
Antonio the whole week was like the Packers. Like he was
Yeah,
just
we were like,
the
there's no
Cowboys
way
stuff.
they could fuck it up this week,
They're-
and they absolutely fucked it up.
Didn't they play in the regular season too this year?
I don't think so.
I don't remember, but literally Dallas was fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Dallas was having their way with everybody.
Yeah, they
in the
were.
games
Weren't
that
they
won,
undefeated at home?
Probably. I mean,
I'm
they're 12
pretty
and
sure-
5,
I think they
so-
were
I'm pretty sure they were undefeated at home, and then their first loss was the Packers
at
game
home.
in the playoffs
Yep.
by 400 points.
They were undefeated at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Packers was their first loss at home. Like, you just look at their wins.
That's
like,
hilarious.
dude, they were only under 30 points like once in their wins. Twice all year they scored
And-
less in all of their wins. So
and-
10 out of the 12 wins they
And
scored
no
over
one's
30.
going to remember that.
No. I'm not. I will remember though how good CeeDee Lamb was all year though.
And no one will remember them going undefeated at home this year either.
No, because they didn't. They didn't go
Hang
undefeated.
the banner for 8-0 at home. 2023 for the
Because you
Dallas
could sit there and say it like, oh, they were undefeated at home, except the playoffs, and you're like, okay, so they weren't undefeated at home.
True. Yeah.
All right. Philadelphia 11.5. They went under. We all said over. Antonio was. I think you convinced him to take the over more or less.
Yeah,
think
because I
he
said
was-
they're going 11-6, but
He did. He did say that on the podcast. He's like,
And they won 11-6.
And they went 11-6. He was like, but I don't want to take the under because I don't want to bank on them being a half under.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, that's so crazy that he called them going 11-6.
Yeah, that's just Antonio though.
And obviously, like Philadelphia too. I just think like it like caught up to them almost. Like they were so good to start the year, and like everyone's like, oh, they're good, and then they just kind of dwindled towards the end. Which he said that too. Like they were like in the second half of the year, they're playing some really good teams. Like they might be bad towards the end of the year, and that's exactly what happened. Everyone was like, wait, maybe they won't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
After like week 12 or whatever it was, whenever they started being really bad. So yeah, the NFC East was, I'd say, exactly what we thought it was going to be, almost. Let's see the orders.
besides the New York Giants.
Yeah, which we're always wrong about. The NFC East. So Antonio said Philly, Giants, Dallas, Washington. Sal said Philly, Dallas, Giants, Washington. And I also said Philly, Dallas, Giants, Washington.
Yeah.
So 2 for 4 on us, 1 for 4 for Antonio. I mean,
Whatever.
I mean, we were one game off from Philly winning the division again, but obviously it was never going to happen. We need to start looking at these.
No, the one that now it'll happen this year, but NFC East never repeats, and we just should have just kept saying that.
It's not going to happen this year. That's like one thing for sure.
Well, yeah, the Cowboys are not winning the division.
Who is then? It's not your team. Your team's not winning the division.
Washington.
Like it could be, but like that's disgusting.
This is the
Dan
year,
Quinn
like they're
comes
all
in?
terrible, and Washington goes 9-8 and wins the division.
Well, if Washington plays Dallas the last week of the regular season, I'll buy into Washington winning because then they would beat Dallas
Should we
to
take
to win the
Oh, they
division.
don't have it out yet. do
No,
they?
I don't think so.
The
It'd be
Eagles
kinda
are going to
cool
be
if
bad.
they did.
Say that again.
The Eagles are going to be bad.
No, but
Win 10 games.
yeah, 10 was literally the number I had in my head. 10-7. They had a wild card, and then I don't know who knows after that.
Cowboys might also go 10-7.
3 NFC East teams.
Go 10-7.
Washington. No, that's gross. They won't.
Where should we go next?
They draft Josh Rosen.
NFC South.
that would change things.
Let's go to NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons.
Fuck this division.
We're 8.5. They go under. We all had them going under.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that was one that we didn't get faded on.
I probably debated myself about it.
I think you did. Do that. New Orleans 9.5.
Ugh.
They go under too, obviously, by a half.
And what did I say?
You had the over. I think you also had them winning the division. You were like pretty high on them winning the division. And then I had their over as well.
I hate
Sal was
that.
the only one that picked under, but Sal always picks the under for the Saints.
Yeah, I do. I just have like a vendetta against them.
And then probably our biggest whiff was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I had two. This is 2 whiffs in a row, really bad.
Yeah, for you, yeah.
Yeah.
We whiffed on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We said they were going to be the worst team in the league.
But okay, so I referenced it in the episode, but remember that fucking video that came out of Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield? They couldn't even hit an open wide receiver.
Yeah.
Before the season started. So you couldn't watch that video and tell me, this team's gonna win the division and make the playoffs.
Well, not only that, but Todd Bowles showed that he wasn't a good head coach with the Jets. So
exactly,
you have a bad head coach and you have a team that's older, and if they have a bad quarterback situation, they're not gonna care and they're gonna be bad all season. So I just figured it was a team that was trying to check out with bad quarterback play, but they got well above average quarterback play with Baker. Baker was really good this season, so it just wasn't something that was in my crystal ball of what could happen with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. I didn't think that they were just going to magically find, I don't want to say they're a franchise quarterback, but at least a plug-in quarterback for the next couple of years.
Yeah, and obviously Vegas didn't believe him either with the win total at 6.5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think?
Listening.
Is Baker really the quarterback of the future, though?
I think he's there for a couple more years.
He'll be there for a few more years.
But do you think this was his, Cinderella year, and then he's just going to come back to reality next year?
That division still sucks. They got a good roster.
He might take a slight step back, but also he could just be as good as he was last year. I don't think that's
what if Mike Evans leaves, which I don't think could will happen now. What they said the other day, they really want to get a deal done, but what if they don't and he does leave? If he a lot of it was Mike Evans. If we really want to be real about it.
He loved throwing to Mike Evans. I mean, it hurts him a lot. It's not going to be as.
But he could still be a 25 touchdown quarterback even without Mike Evans.
If Mike Evans leaves,
do they win as many games? I don't.
If Mike Evans leaves, you draft whoever the tight end is there in fantasy.
Yeah,
because
he loves.
He did throw to the tight end a lot.
Was it
still OJ Howard?
Brate?
No, it's not OJ Howard. I thought it was
Cameron Brate.
I thought no,
it wasn't Brate.
It was the other guy. Who's the other guy that they had?
Oh, Njoku?
No,
what the fuck?
They had I can't think of his name.
That was the word. That was not a good guess.
Not Cameron Brate. They have Coke Heaft and they have someone else.
It's the Otto.
Cade Otton. That's who I was thinking of.
Tyler Eifert.
You draft Cade Otton if Mike Evans leaves.
So where's Griffin. Cameron Brate? Did he leave?
He's old.
He said, "Who cares?" Oh, he retired maybe. A tight end retires, and if you're not Rob Gronkowski or Travis Kelce, no one cares.
If you're not Travis Gronkowski, or
yeah,
Rob
if
Kelce.
you're not Travis Gronkowski,
Travis Kincaid,
Rob Kelce, Carolina. Let's get to it, Sal. Listen, I know you said this was your sleeper team in the NFC, but the Vegas win total was fucking ridiculous, 7.5.
That's crazy.
So that makes your prediction not that.
They bait sometimes though. They want you to think
this was such a bait.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at them,
I just the whole Bryce Young thing was supposed to be an actual he was gonna be really good. And
he was never gonna be good.
I wholeheartedly agree. I didn't think he was gonna be good at all.
I thought he was gonna be an average quarterback, or at least around average.
He won't be starting this year.
He's just too small, dude.
What?
They're gonna give up on him.
They're gonna bench him.
I don't know.
If they come out and do really bad, he's not gonna play the whole year probably.
What?
The football is bigger than his head.
What a blunder!
He's tiny.
What a blunder by that team! Just take C.J. Stroud. I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but wow.
Yeah, one was 6'3", and the other one.
It's not it was that much of a surprise. People were they probably should take C.J. Stroud. People with
it's oh, C.J. Stroud didn't just tear up Georgia in the semifinal of the national championship game, and then they beat TCU by 500 points.
They look at a 4'11" Bryce Young, and they're like,
oh, he threw 70 touchdowns against Ole Miss and Arkansas. It's who cares?
So you're obviously. I think you said you might have mentioned that they might make the playoffs.
I said no. I thought that.
So that was the faded part of your prediction.
Yeah.
But them going over, I don't think was that faded for you.
I mean, I took a shot. Sometimes you gotta take the underdog in the division.
Yeah, I mean you did it with Houston.
Yeah.
So it worked out. So you're 1 for 1. Not bad.
Yeah.
I'm 0 for 17, so that's fine. Order for
order
shitty division.
Order in the court.
Order court.
All right. So Antonio had New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, and Tampa Bay. I had the same thing. And Sal had Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta, Tampa Bay.
Ugh.
The literal opposite.
The literal inverse.
The literal inverse.
That's not good.
Terrible job on that division, gentlemen.
So let's move past that really quick.
So let's go to the NFC North, where you guys carried the NFC North. I was a little bit more faded.
Nolan, I gotta say I'm disappointed. I'm really
disappointed in myself. And you know what? It's always one of these times where you finish your prediction and you're like, damn, I'm probably gonna be regretting that. I think when I first
shadow.
You guys are doing hand puppets on the wall?
Yeah.
No.
You throwing up gang signs?
Antonio is.
All right. The Chicago Bears. 7.5. They go under. Not by much. They won 7 games. So I was the only one that had the over.
Because you love Justin Fields.
Because I love Justin Fields. I still love Justin Fields. No one's ever going to talk me off of that ledge.
Just throw out.
He just
because
vomits
Justin
Yeah, it
Fields
was
so
brought
bad.
up. Yeah.
I really don't think he's that bad, dude. I really don't. But I mean,
If
whatever.
he ever wins an MVP, I'll
You'll what?
vomit on my
Did you see
naked
that video
body
today
in public.
that people think he might go to Atlanta? You saw that video today?
I've
His
been hearing
manager posted a video of him jumping up and down and dancing in a kitchen.
I've been hearing that since weeks ago, dude.
I bookmarked the video because I want to actually know if that actually ends up happening. But if it doesn't, it's gonna be funny because in the background he's like, "Are you ready to go home?" His manager says that. He's like, "Are you ready to go home?"
Oh, he's from Atlanta?
He's from Georgia, I believe.
And he went and played for Ohio State. What a dumbass.
Aw.
Dude, if he played for Georgia coming out of college, I would have been like, guys, Justin Fields.
But how do we feel about him going to Atlanta, though?
Do it.
I think obviously it's better than the Bears.
He's a little bit better than Justin
Is it
Ritter.
better than the Bears?
What is the ultimate goal if you're the Bears? Do you want to get a young quarterback or do you want to build around Justin Fields?
If they go through with sending Justin Fields to the Falcons, you have to think that they are planning on doing something in the draft.
Ready? Trade Justin Fields.
Okay.
And then trade the number 1 pick. And just absolutely flood your roster with talent. And then you sign
Who's their backup?
The fucking,
the fucking no-name guy.
Get Russell Wilson.
Tyson Bagent.
Tyson Bagent.
Wow.
Which he was good for 3 quarters. He was good for 3 quarters, and everyone was like...
Mike was like, he's Tom Brady.
I could honestly see Russell Wilson as a Bear.
I could too, and I could see him succeeding as a Bear.
Yes.
Well, I guess he's gonna.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
He is gonna take pennies to stay on Denver. So I mean,
Jimmy, on Chicago.
Garoppolo.
Yeah. Why did I see that? That hurt you. That hurt you. That was painful.
How good was Jay Cutler?
How good was Jay Leno?
His garage.
Yeah. His late night show.
When they
His
have
late
him
night
on, when they have him on Family Guy.
If it's me,
they give him the biggest chin ever.
I still think you trade the first pick and you load yourself up with talent, but you do it around Justin Fields. That's my.
You're paying Justin Fields $45 million a year. Because that's what he's done at B.J. That's the.
But
that's
who
what
do they do? Who else?
anyone.
Seriously though, but he is talented.
Caleb Williams. And if not, then
But then he comes in and does shit, and you're like, you just got another Justin Fields.
Kirk Cousins.
I mean, he's gonna stay in Minnesota.
I don't hate trading everything and then really trying to load your roster up and then trying to get a quarterback somehow. A trade or
I am a fan of that. I am a fan of not putting it all on the young quarterback. They could easily just sign somebody
Mac Jones goes there and wins the Super Bowl.
But that would be a good example of you trade everything away and then you just bring in Mac Jones to hold down the fort until you can find a suitable.
And he's capable. Or you bring in Sam Darnold.
Yeah, or something like that.
Or you bring in Baker Mayfield.
Or Trey Lance. Something.
Or Trey Young.
Josh Rosen, dude.
Trey Young. You bring in Nikola Jokic.
I'm trying to think of like a spinoff to that. But
Gerald Green,
Danny Green,
Jermichael Green,
Draymond Green,
Jeff Green.
You bring in Doc Rivers to be the quarterback.
red and green color blindness.
All right, let's move on. The
AJ
Minnesota
Green.
Vikings. So obviously, I was
AJ
faded.
Brown.
The Minnesota Vikings, I was faded.
Minnesota Vikings fucking suck.
8.5. They went under. Kirk Cousins does get hurt.
It's
Middle of the
terrible.
year. I mean, was it that faded to say that they were going to go over 8.5 wins after winning 12 last year, 11, whatever it was?
I mean, I wouldn't say
They were
that
all
faded.
one-score games,
Yeah, and there was fucking Nick Mullins.
and they
Nick
lost all their
Mullins
one-score
is
games.
the
this year.
worst quarterback ever.
Yeah,
He was so bad.
he was really good the first game he played in the NFL.
What,
Yeah.
for the 49ers?
Yeah, they played the Raiders on Thursday night and like just touched them.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a Tyson Bagent moment. I like whatever. You guys both said under.
You got like brainwashed before the episode.
I don't think it was that crazy. And without Kirk Cousins, they still won 7 games.
I'm not saying it was a bad pick.
And they didn't have
you're
Justin Jefferson for a
you're
little bit.
literally like
They should be
top-
relegated for a year.
yeah, you're like top 5% of the Lions fan club, and like you were just like,
Listen, we're not going to talk about that, but you can't sit there and tell me that the Vikings stay healthy. They don't win at least 9 games.
no, but we said that Detroit's winning the division, and like you like kind of agreed, but like didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
for some
but I
reason.
think it would have been more of a fight if the Vikings stayed healthy. It would have been more.
Well,
it would
I
have been more
picked them to
interesting.
go in third place.
I don't know.
Okay, but they got hurt. Like it is what it is.
I don't give a fuck.
It's like me with the Jets. You can't claim.
I
you
knew the
can't
Packers
claim
are
it.
going to be better. I knew the Lions are going to be better.
Would they have been better if the Vikings were healthy? I disagree. I think they would have been better than the Packers.
Lions still win the division.
Yeah, but it would have been more of a contest if the Vikings stayed healthy.
Yeah,
Their defense was pretty terrible.
They
though.
had the best wide receiver ever, and he was down, and then they lost their quarterback.
best wide receiver.
He's not
ever.
even top 3 in the NFL.
Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
He's the best wide receiver ever.
He's not better than DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, he is.
All right, be dead ass though. Who's the best
Be dead
receiver?
ass.
Oh,
Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the league.
Puka Nacua.
See, like you can't.
He might be right.
Justin Jefferson was injured this year, so any stats you throw at me are just washed.
Yeah, I know. It was Julio Jones.
Go to the year
but
before.
not even like Jamar. Not even Jamar Chase really put up numbers this year. So
Because
I love
their
that we didn't
quarterback
never-
was hurt.
We did never be dead ass.
their quarterback.
Whatever. Detroit.
Well, Stephen
9.5
A. Their quarterback.
over. We all took the over on Detroit. Because that was the thing. I never said they were going to be bad. Like I never said that they were going to be bad, and I still took their over.
Who, the Tigers?
So it's not like I fully were like if I sit there and said they're going to come third in the division and they're going to win 8 games, I would see why you would be so mad with me. But I'd never said that they were going to be bad.
I mean, fair, but like,
And I took their over, so that means I thought they were going to win at least 10 games.
I guess.
You were so off.
Yeah, you were.
Shut the fuck up.
Just hate him to win the division. Like, come on. You're
I know it was a fumble. We'll move
he
on.
didn't. So.
All right, move on.
Green Bay Packers 7.5. They went over. You both took the over. I took the under.
You took the over too?
Yeah, just you took the over.
Wow.
I followed you.
Jesus Christ.
You normally don't lead me astray.
You know, whatever. And then the fucking orders were faded. The AFC North. NFC North, I said Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay. And then you both got it right. Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago.
Let's go.
Claps for San Antonio.
Let's go.
They won it dead on. And then the last division, the NFC West.
Yeah.
Start with Arizona, 4.5. They go under.
Under.
We all took the under. It was funny how we literally talked shit about Tampa Bay being the worst team ever. We got to this division, and we were talking about Arizona, and we're like, yeah, they might win 3 or 4 games. We're like, how did we not just say that
They're
they're
the
going to be
worst
the worst
team.
team?
So they only won 3 games this year, and they
Mhm.
won 2 by like week 4 or 5.
Yeah, they beat the Cowboys at the beginning of the year.
What the fuck?
That happens.
And that was without
It's
Kyler
so
Murray
weird
still.
because they like their coach too.
They had one. There was one of their wins without Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
They have 2 wins without Kyler Murray, or just
They had 4 wins, I think. I think they had 2 without him and 2 with him.
okay.
They looked better at the end of the year too. I will say. I mean, like by better, I mean like an actual like competitive football team.
I could argue that they looked better without Kyler Murray. In the beginning of the year, they were competitive.
With Dobbs for like 2 or 3 weeks, yeah, but like
the first like 5 or 6 weeks of the year, they were competitive.
I don't know. After like week 3, it was like kind of wearing off.
But they were still in close games, though.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Let me look real quick. Like with their first few games.
Well, the Giants one was close. They
like
had a 28-0 lead, and the Giants came back.
Yeah, like the first 3 weeks they had close games, and then I think after that it was just like they got waxed for most games.
Didn't they beat the Eagles?
In like week 16.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, they did not. Wait, yeah. Yeah, they did. Week 17.
That's a
feat.
feat.
I mean, they played some close games. They beat the Cowboys. But yeah, they were still the worst team ever.
They suck.
Seattle Seahawks 9.5. They go under. We all had the over. I think we were more so talking him into taking the over. Like I think he was more reluctant. We kind of had more faith in the Seahawks. I mean, they were one game out of the playoffs. I mean, it's not like it was that bad. You getting comfy? We're just fully off the rails at this point.
Is this alien dude? He's gonna be like.
I think everyone expected the Seahawks to be good though.
Yeah.
Like 9.5.
Yeah, and they were really fucking good.
And they were really good. They were one game out of the playoffs, so that really wasn't much of a surprise. Well, it kind of was a surprise, but not really. They go under by a half. San Fran 10.5. Me and you had the under.
Were you in the room yet when I said earlier when Alan came on the podcast he just gave the Seahawks a slobber job, dude?
Yeah.
I was.
At that point, it was over for the Seahawks.
Yeah, like their season ended right there.
Yeah, San Fran, for whatever reason, we took the under.
All of us?
No, you took the over. Me and Sal took the under.
God, I'm not an idiot.
They were just the best team ever. And it was just so funny because I was like, what if they're a hospital? Like, what if they just get hurt? And then, like how they did, like, the year before. And then they were just the best team and healthiest team. They stayed so healthy. Christian McCaffrey stayed healthy. Brock Purdy ended up still being really good. I think that was kind of more a question mark going in. Like, is Brock Purdy actually good? And then he actually was good. They go to the Super Bowl. They choke in the Super Bowl. They should have won the Super Bowl. But yeah, that was faded. And then the LA Rams, 6.5. They go over. We all did say over. You, I think, were more so high on them than me and Sal were. I think we probably just said they were a fringe playoff team, which they kind of were.
They were. They came back.
They had a good season. They, I don't know. I think they kind of just met expectations.
They found out that they still have a future, even though they gave away a lot of draft picks over the last years.
They're gonna have to move off Matt Stafford though at some point.
Yeah, they've hit on late pitch though, and that's what's kept them afloat. If they hadn't hit on like Kyron and Puka, and like they have a linebacker that's really good too. Like,
I mean,
those were all
Puka Nacua was like where the fuck did no one expected him to be good. So like he comes in and absolutely carries.
Yeah.
And has one of the best.
And then like Cooper Kupp becomes your number 2 receiver. It's like, okay,
yeah,
like that works.
No one would have thought that coming.
Yeah. They should re-sign Brandon Cooks. I'm like not even like trying to be funny.
They should.
Like I feel like he'd actually be decent third on.
Why can Brandon Cooks never stay on the same team for 2 years?
I don't know. It's like kind of weird because like he's a good receiver.
He played decent for the Cowboys this year.
He only had like 600 yards, but like his catches were like important catches. Like he made great plays.
How many touchdowns did he have?
6 or 7.
I mean, that's not terrible for like being like the third wide receiver.
Yeah. Dude, Dak humped Ferguson for a lot of the year. He loved Jake Ferguson.
He loves a good tight end
for
sure. Yeah, and then the orders were. Let me go back in my notes here. I worked hard on these. Sal had Seattle, San Fran, Rams, Arizona.
Ugh.
Antonio had San Fran, Seattle, Rams, Arizona.
Close.
And I had the same as Sal. Seattle, San Fran, Rams, Arizona.
Who was like the most surprising to him? like when you think back to the season, where you're like, either it was crazy, like way too, like they came in way below or way above expectations? Would you say?
For above expectations, perhaps. I mean, on everybody else's scale, maybe the Packers.
Yeah, the low win total. No one really thought they were going to do much.
Out of teams that made the playoffs, but also the Raiders were surprising.
I still think Houston's like the one where.
Oh, yeah, never mind. That's Houston. Definitely Houston.
Yeah,
Houston, I think both in that division, Houston and Jacksonville on opposite ends were.
It was just a collapse of epic proportion by Jacksonville.
Right.
Like, that's just still silly to me.
And if we're going by teams that stayed healthy, like, obviously, because, like, obviously there were other teams that had expectations. I think Tampa Bay was a team that was, like, I probably would argue that Tampa Bay might have been the most I don't know.
Impressive.
Above expectations.
Yeah, above expectations. Yeah, I was, like, looking for the word. I don't know. Could you argue, like, Cleveland?
Yeah, I guess you could, just because it's
True.
like
Because Joe Flacco came
well,
in?
like you weren't really expecting
You knew that
them
they
to
were talented, but you didn't really
expect them to get there that way.
expect them to get through.
Like, once Deshaun Watson goes down, Joe Flacco.
They just
Yeah.
seemed like too much of a like weird situation, but I don't know. I give Stefanski a lot of credit for dealing with what he has had to deal with over there.
Yeah, and then, like, the Raiders, too, I guess. You could say the Raiders. I mean, no one
Definitely.
expected them to do anything. When you look at it as Josh McDaniels and Jimmy Garoppolo, you're like, okay, they're not going to do anything here. And then, like, they go down, and you're like, oh, they're really not going to do anything. And then interim coach Aiden O'Connell, they come in, and then they actually start winning games and almost make the playoffs. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I would say those teams. Is there anything else, gentlemen? March Madness right around the corner.
That'll be a
Are we excited?
horny one.
Yeah.
We'll have to really dive deep as we get closer.
I just always pick the same teams like every single year.
That's what most people do.
like
They're just like, oh, I really
dude,
like LSU.
like dude,
they're going far.
If UNC is like anywhere and they're in the mix, I'm like, all right, they're going to the Final Four every single time, and then it normally
No,
works
you're gonna
out.
be like Kansas is winning.
my team,
I love Kansas.
My team that I always take, I feel
Fuck
like
Houston. Houston sucks.
my team that I feel like I always take far is Duke. Like no matter what year, like they could look like the shittiest team, and I'm like
Purdue's
Duke,
garbage.
so.
Yeah, same thing. UNC. That's
Yeah.
Purdue's garbage. Edie sucks.
Edie is very overrated.
It's funny, just like the most college basketball thing would be them winning this year because like they lose to the 16th seed and like it's happened
then they
before.
come back and win.
Yeah.
Watch
That
out.
would be kinda
Watch out
crazy.
for Florida.
Mm.
Auburn's good.
What's like the biggest
These
sleeper
SEC
team?
teams get in the tournament and they make noise.
What's the biggest sleeper team that you could see?
Wake Forest.
Okay. Antonio, do you have any?
What
like
do you mean by sleeper?
Like a team that no one's talking about that could win? Like maybe they're ranked. and they're
I
good.
mean, Wake Forest can't really win. Like that's asking a lot. Like,
it takes on two meanings. Like a team that could go far, that no one's expecting them to go far, or a team that is good right now that no one's talking.
Probably Alabama.
Okay. I just can't see an SEC team winning.
I'm really thinking.
But I also like Auburn. I like Auburn's coach.
I like
better than
Marquette, but
Alabama's.
that's not like a dark horse.
I like Creighton.
Creighton's
Oh,
good, too.
Creighton and Seton Hall always are a tough.
Yeah, I mean Big East
opponent.
teams. I mean maybe we're just biased because we see them all the time.
I
but
know, but
they are always really good. I mean
Seton Hall and Creighton are like
even
always
Villanova is
Sweet
not
16.
ranked, and Villanova is still.
Same thing with Providence. Providence is still decent.
Yeah, they're all really good, and they're like Villanova and Providence aren't ranked.
Mm-hmm.
No, but they could definitely still get in the tournaments.
They could. I don't know. I know if Villanova still wins down the stretch, like
Wow, Auburn and Tennessee are playing right now. 24-21. Same records. Wow. Tennessee's ranked 4th in there. They have 6 losses.
They've been pretty good.
I know. No, I know that. I just didn't expect them to have that many losses. But UConn, Purdue, and Houston all have 3. Fuck
I mean, like
Houston,
Baylor
dude.
could still make a run. Like no one talks about them.
Yeah, there's teams like that are just like not really.
That have the experience
Yeah.
now. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not St. Mary's.
Yeah. But as we get closer, obviously we'll dive more in.
We'll pick a bad bracket and just
Pick a really bad
I'm
bracket.
due for a good bracket this year.
Don't say that, dude.
I am.
Well, you're gonna have the worst one ever, no?
All right. That's all for most folks. Over and out.
Long live the fighters.
Long live the Fighting Irish.